My name is Dutch, and in the bike shed, technically, I'm the CEO. Everyone calls me Bossman. I guess I'm the guy who thought it all up. I started riding bikes when I was 17, a little bit later than some of my friends who all started a little bit before that. And I got myself a Suzuki TS125X because I lived in the countryside, and it was the only way to get around. If you wanted to see your girlfriend, go to the pub, go to the shops, do anything, you got a motorbike. Right now I've got a Triumph Thruxton, Hoxton, Throbber, whatever you want to call it, custom bike, which I guess is my ongoing project, and that's the bike that's most about me and the kind of bikes I like. I've also got a Triumph Street Scrambler, which is my daily ride. That's the bike I don't mind getting really dirty and wet and filthy. And I've also got a DUCATI Paul Smart, although if you ask VIKKI, that's now her bike. The bike shed started in 2011 as a blog. I was working in media and marketing and a whole bunch of crap, and it wasn't my passion. My passion was riding bikes. So VIKKI suggested I write a blog about that. So the bike shed started as a blog, and very quickly it became the popular underdog blog, sharing other people's stories about the creation of this kind of new wave custom cafe racer culture. The blog then became a show, and the show then became this space. The people who come here, that's what makes Bike Shed amazing. It's got nothing to do with burgers and bikes, it's just to do with people. 2019 is all about two things. Shows. We've got an even bigger and better May show next year, which will be our 10th show, unbelievably. It will also be about the new Bike Shed Festival, which is something that will happen at the end of the summer, which is combining all of our learnings from the Sunday Scramble and the Cafe Racer Cup to create a proper weekend festival event with camping. And also, it's going to be about LA. We really hope to open our doors in LA next year. I'm called Dutch because my name is literally Dutch. My surname is Van Someren. It's just a nickname. There's no way I could rebuild an engine. I've rebuilt bits of engines, mostly when I had no money. So when I blew up my TS250X, I took the top of the engine, the piston seemed to have a hole in it. I'd clearly done something I shouldn't have done. So I took as much off as I could. I got a hold of some circlip pliers, pulled the whole thing apart, and then I took a broken piston to a shop and said, "Could I have one of these please, mister?" And I put it all back together and it worked. That's not really what I'd call proper mechanical engineering or skill. I will do what I can, but normally for every one thing I fix, I break two other things. So for proper jobs, I leave it to professionals. I design all of the logos for Bike Shed, and I do some of the design for t-shirts. But we also work with really good people who know what they're doing, like Matilda McElveny and Toria James, and who else do we work with, Dan? Ryan Quickfall. So yeah, I mean, I do the logos and I'm still learning. For every 20 logos I design, we keep about 3. If money was no object and I could buy any bike I wanted, I'm really at a bit of a loss. There are so many bikes that I love, and it changes all the time, and it depends how I'm riding right now and where I'm riding right now. The last bike I saw that I really wanted was Max Hazan's KTM 950 Supermoto custom bike. That's the bike I'm lusting over most right now. But would that be the only bike I'd own? Probably not. I'd need a really cool cafe racer to do track days on. I'd need some kind of long distance, proper mile munching bike. I don't know, it would be a twin, it would be over 800cc. There would definitely be more than one. Stumped. The bikes I want to ride the most are, obviously, I'd like to have a go on Indian's new FTR. That's got to be a bit of a tool. I'm desperate to get on the Triumph 1200 Scrambler XE, the full fat version of that. There's another bike that I know Triumph are going to reveal quite soon that I can't talk about, or they'd have to kill me, and I'm desperate to have a go on that one. I really want to go on the new Husqvarna Svartpullen 701, because when I rode the Vitpullen, I really thought this bike needs handlebars. And also, I'd really like to have a go on the KTM 790 Adventure S super adventure bike thing that's made out of that new parallel twin. firstly, aesthetically, the silhouette and the proportions of it. Some bikes just look right. You have to step back about 20 feet and look at them and see how they hang together. Do they look like a complete thing? There are lots of really good engineering builds out there that look a real mess, and they work well, but they don't hang together creatively. The next thing for me though is a bike does have to handle. I like riding motorcycles. I don't like ornaments. I don't mind if people build bikes that are just meant to go straight into a museum or into someone's living room, but that's not for me. I need to know that the chassis is good, the bike's going to handle, it's going to go around corners, the brakes are going to work, and that it's got the right level of performance, and the pipes breathe properly. So it's a bit of a combination of both of those things. And one of the things I love most about bikes is it's one of those practical spaces where beauty and engineering come together. So really it's about both of those things in equal measure. I think using a DUCATI Monster as a first build for a project is probably brilliant, and not enough people do it. People tend to work on much older bikes like the old BMW R80s or CB 750s, thinking that, because they're dealing with old Hondas and old BMWs, they're going to be reliable and everyone's going to have a good time. But actually you want the newest low-tech bike you can get with the simplest mechanical layout. And actually a Monster is absolutely perfect for that. So yeah, do that. I got into bikes through the world of what we used to call trail bikes. Bikes that looked like they were meant to go off-road but didn't. So my first bike was a Suzuki TS125X, then I got a 250. I rode around on a Mako for a while, that was a bad idea. And then I got into bikes like the Tenere 600, and I had a KLR 650. So my whole introduction into bikes was upright riding position, long travel suspension, and that quickly led me into the world of supermoto. So before all of this kind of cafe racer stuff, I was really into bikes that were sort of configured for off-road or for supermoto racing, but I was always customizing them. The first thing you did was with those bikes was change everything. My heart says DUCATI Paul Smart, but my need to actually get somewhere says THRUXTON. I still would have started the bike shed even if I didn't have a partner that was into bikes. I don't know if it would have gone quite so well without being able to dedicate pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to it and being forgiven for that. I'd either be single or the bike shed would be a little bit smaller. The black bits in bananas are absolutely spiders' eggs, and if you eat them, spiders will grow inside you and come out of the pores in your skin. I had no idea that I was going to end up working with bikes, full stop. I'm not an amazing bike rider, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a builder, I'm not a designer, so quite why I should ever have ended up in the motorcycle industry at all is completely beyond me. I'm a punter, I'm a customer, and I guess that's what put me in here, but no, I had no idea that was coming. Bike shed is always expanding in the UK. It's growing all the time, and we're doing more and more people come through our doors. We create more products and we do more shows. So we're growing all the time, and we would love to have more bike sheds in the UK. We are looking down on the coast, and we are looking a little bit further north. And whether or not those things happen are down to a bit of luck and a bit of timing. Watch this space. Obviously, I wear the trousers.
Make sure you cook the dinner.
Oh yeah, sure, darling. How would you like it cooked? I'm filming. Go away. I'm the boss.
That's a bit of chicken right there. I'm going home.
Okay.
So you need to cook as soon as you get home.
Yeah. Yes, boss.
You can cook. I'm getting a cab.
All right.
Adios.
How did we finance the bike shed? That is the big question. I've heard a million answers. I prefer the conspiracy theories and the rumours to the truth because they're much more interesting. The truth is, I asked people I knew who loved bikes whether or not they were willing to invest money in a project that might not work, and it had to be enough money to help and as little money as they could afford to maybe never see again. And nearly 40 people gave me some money, and when you combined it, it was enough money to do this, and we're still here. And they're still smiling, so all is good. I'm hoping my next bike project might be a Triumph 1200 Scrambler, if I can somehow find a way to get one. Opening the bike shed was unbelievably difficult. I think we had absolutely no idea what we were letting ourselves in for. We thought we did. We'd never run a restaurant, we didn't have a clue how to do that. We'd never run a shop, so we didn't have a clue how to do that. Combining all of those ideas with running an event space and a gallery and a barber shop and a team of digital people that were putting together the social media side of things. I mean, individually, they're all quite difficult to do. When you put them all together and try and make them all work, it's an absolute lunacy, and we were clearly insane, and it's incredible that it's worked. Shed-built bikes are what we're all about. It's what started the bike shed off. But to get your shed built into the bike shed show, it has to be something that we believe our audience, our visitors, would pay good money to see. And that might be because it's been brilliantly built, or it might be because it's got something really unique to it. It might be about the engineering, or it might be just aesthetically pleasing. It looks great, but there's always got to be some kind of context or story behind it. I think, to be honest, really truthfully, my favourite bike right now is my THRUXTON, which is now affectionately known by the crew at the bike shed as the Throbber, with its bobber wheels. It's just brilliant, really good fun to ride, makes all the right noises, and it really does combine good looks with great performance, and it's all mine and no one else has done anything like it. I'm definitely, categorically faster than VIKKI round Brands Hatch, and very happy to prove it at any time. The future of the bike shed is to keep growing organically and authentically as the community and the scene grows, and try and spread the story of kind of inclusive biking. We're about bikes, but we're for everyone. And I think that's something that a lot of the motorcycle industry and the scene doesn't really take advantage of or enjoy. It's very exclusive. We don't really like people coming in and enjoying something that we think is hard-earned. And I'd like the future of the bike shed to rally against that and say, no, we want non-bikers to enjoy biking, and we want new bikers to feel included. So the future of the bike shed is to keep following the natural path of growth that offers us by having more bike shed venues, by doing more good events. We just want to grow our community and grow the experience and keep going.